Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Reflection, the joint program between ThmeyThmey Media and Cambodia-ASEAN International Institute. Today, we have a topic on youth and employment, and we have with us three speakers, and they will share with us a short and experiences regarding youth and employment. And first speaker, we have Mr. Som Sothia. Yes. Mr. Som Sothia currently is Associate Training Director and also a public speaker. Second speaker, we have Mr. Po Sovinda. Mr. Po Sovinda is currently a Senior Research Fellow at Cambodian Institute for Cooperation and Peace, or CICP, and also is a Fellow at the Future Forum. And the last speaker, we have Ms. Sok Arunvatay. Sok Arunvatay currently is also a Senior Account Executive at Harvard River Orchid Cambodia Co. Ltd. Welcome all three speakers to join yesterday's discussion. And our topic, like as I mentioned earlier, is on youth and employment. Cambodia is one of the fastest growing economy and in the region with 7.8 annual growth, I think. And according to the UN Population Fund, young people under 30 account for almost 50% of the country population. It means that we need more jobs in order to sustain our growth in the upcoming year. And according to Global Agenda Council Youth Employment in 2012 report, they also mentioned that approximately there are 300 to 400,000 young Cambodian people are entering job market annually as well. So it is a quite huge number of young people entering market. However, the merging of digital technology and also the skill gap existing in our country create more challenges for our youth today society. And I just want to ask my first question to Mr. Vida. We all mentioned about youth and employment. So according to you, which group of people should be considered as youth?
Well, it's quite confusing question since we have different yardsticks to say which group of youth is youth. According to the UN, they said 15 to 30 years. So this kind of people are classified as youth. While in Cambodia, we say around 15 to 35 years old. So it's quite different. But for me, I think as long as you are 15 years old up until 40 years old, to my measurement, I think you are youth. So because you still have the energy and excitement to do something in the country.
Mr. Sothia, do you agree with him, or you have different definition of youth?
I agree for the report, from the UN or what Cambodian mentions. But to me, I focus more on the spirit. Yeah, I think if they have the spirit as the youth, they work very energetic and they really take care of themselves well. Like for example, not only in Cambodia, like in Malaysia, the new leader just come in the 93 years old. Yeah. I think he look absolutely like youth, is not the older person. So to me, if the spirit still there, you are youth.
So Mr. Sothia mentioned that age does not matter as long as you have a spirit. Okay, that's a good definition. Vatay, I think you have been in your company as a senior account executive. So how do you define the word employment? Is it seasonal or it permanent work?
So for me, for the employment is kind of like you go to work and that get the salary. That's called employment. Yeah.
I see.
So it's despite of short term or long term, permanent or not. If you go and get the salary, and then it's called employment.
I just want to have a follow-up question. So when you choose your job, how do you know that you like your job, so to be employed or so on and so forth?
Okay, so for this one, it's kind of interesting question also because for me, I didn't go to the job and then I just realized that I like my job, but I also study about my job first before I enter to my job. So to me, I define myself, what I want, what I really like to do. So To me, I like doing many things at the same time, like everything. I like to do everything. Yeah, exactly, like to do everything. So, and then I found out that there's a job in communication agency, communication company, where we can do all of those things. So, yeah, and then I found my company, which is one of the largest communication company in Cambodia, which have five other company in five country in Indochina, and also in France, where in 2017 there is a French company called Havas, joint venture with our company. So our company now become a global company, which we have like 100 other in other country too. So when I define myself and then I find my job, and then it doesn't mean that I really like that job because I haven't tried it yet. So I go into that job, I apply as an intern. Previously, I have a full-time job, good pay, good positions, but then I decided to quit, and then I enter into intern, which some people might say that is maybe stupid decisions. And then I don't care. This is my life. This is my decision. So I go into intern where I think I can learn as much as I can, and then there's also my opportunity to see that job, whether I like that job or not. So after the internship, I think, well, this is what I want. This is my job. This is my what I looking for. Yeah. So maybe for some other people, maybe some other youth, they need to do that as well. They need to study about themselves, and then study about the job that they things that really fit them, and then go to it. Otherwise, if they maybe sometimes they just go to it and then find out that it's not really what I see it is, so they can quit and just looking for other job that they like.
I think what they also mentioned that before you intern to your job, make sure that you study about your job clearly, whether you like it or not. Our two speakers already discussed and tell us how they choose their job and how to prepare. But according to the report we have talked earlier, a lot of people are entering the new market in order to find job. So how do you see the skill gap in our society? Is there any skill gap happen, and what you suggestion to in order to improve this, in order to make sure that youth can find the right skill in order to get job and get employed easily?
Well, for me, I'm just a little bit different. Job exists because of the people. So when the people demand something, then job exists. So when we're talking about the gap in skills, it's about the way that the employer wants. So when it wants it, the job is demanded. In Cambodia, we would see that not many people would go to agricultural sector. That's a really big issue that we should think about it. Cambodia has a huge landmass that we can grow many things, but not many people are interested in it. So when we are talking about skill gaps, that we need to look at it specifically. That's one thing. The other thing is about now we are living in the fourth industrial revolution, that the term coined by the World Economic Forum. So with that, we would expect to see there's this theory that jobs will be replaced by machines. So, but we need to think about what kind of machines do we need, and what is the role of youth in that process. So how can we position ourselves along the way? So the question that not only youth but all of us need to think about it very carefully. Or otherwise, when the consequences just happen, we are not ready. So from today onwards, we should be very, very careful and get ourselves ready for that phenomenon. My last note is, whatever you see the gap, but ask yourself whether it is something that you really want to do. For example, I see artificial intelligence as a very important subject that I need to study. But the thing is that it's not really my interest. So my interest is more about economic development. So I probably leave that subject to other experts and scholars to study. So all in all, it comes down to what I agree with both scholars, that what you love, what interests you the most matters more than the gap itself. Because when you do it, your best, you will tend to create the best results.
Mr. Vida also raised about the fourth industrial revolution and the emergence of artificial intelligence, which will put our employment at risk somehow, but we will wait and see what happens. But my question will be to Mr. Suthir, because we talk about this, it needs to be prepared at least. We take it into consideration how technology will actually change our well-being or society. So how do you see technical and technological skill in our society? Many youths are very interested in building that capacity in order to grab opportunity and have a job in terms of technology and technical skill.
Okay. First of all, thank you for this question. It's very good questions. First of all, I would like to start with the youths that I have talked to, and we discussed so far about these issues too. Normally, what they share to me is that they share about technologies. Something related to this is more for the IT people who focus on it. But actually, in the job right now, each and every employee, they need to at least have some basic skill of technologies. It's not only IT guys who need to study it, or about the designer who need to study about it or to do it. So then it means in the preparations, they need to make sure they have these basic skills. For example, like they need to do about Excel, basic of Excel, PowerPoints, Word, or they need to get to master about internet usage, email. Those things they need to do. In daily business operations right now, we do it. We, for example, in my job at AIA, we apply a lot of technology. I think AIA is one of the very advanced company in Cambodia especially, but also it has another 18 market in other countries. Our sales agents right now, they don't work with papers actually. We call paperless. We work with technology, we work with iPad, we work with system. Can you imagine that you are in the school, you focus on your book, or you focus on something like more like theories? You don't involve yourself much more with get to use those technology. When you start a job, you find it so challenging. So we need to be careful on this one. Get ready and take some course. A lot of good courses now we have. So don't just stay in your academy, or your university. Take some time to attend some short course to support you. And right now, also about the human beings right now, we don't just compete on knowledge actually. So right now, people start to compete on creativity. That I also heard from Jack Ma, I agree with him. People now start to compete with creativity. It means that it's go beyond your knowledge. It go beyond your traditional experience. You need to use your imaginations. How can you make things more attractive and unique? It's not just make it simple. If you just do something or make things simple, I think the market is gonna be expired for you. It means that you're gonna be alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reflection. Our first session came to an end, and we will have 15-minute break. Thank you.
ហាត់ប្រាណក៏ឲ្យអានព័ត៌មានថ្មីៗបានដែរ
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the reflection. And now we begin our discussion on the youth and employment. And Mr. Satir, you also mentioned earlier about creativity, and it's quite a new term to some people, of course. And how you define the word creativity, and the following up question is how each of you can actually build that capacity and creativity, and because do you think that it is some people were born to have that, or it just can be built along the way?
Creativity is the things that some people, very few people, they born with it. They are so smart. They can catch up things very fast and combine together to solve any problems or to produce any new ideas or skills. But for the rest, we can learn about it. In order to be very creative, from my point of view, what I also have done some study about it. Creatives come from, the combinations of informations. It means you need to read a lot, you need to involve also many other skills. So then you can use all of that information to combine. To combine together to solve the problem. This one I call it this one of the term we call creative, because we want to make things faster, easier, and then also can be there on time to get to the market. So people right now, for example, there is the real example in my training career. At the last about 2 years, normally I follow what we call the knowledge I got from my short course program, the knowledge that I got from my reading, and then I start to feel it's not enough if I just follow of those principles. So I need to adding more some information about technology in order to combine it together. How technology can support my career, how technology can make some of my skill that I used to demonstrate by my speaking or by my classroom activity to be supported by technology. That's one that I upgrade myself, that I call it, and then I start to combine it. And I say it is more creative. It's helped me a lot more with my training class. And then people also can experience more with technology. But it's not because of the technology itself or the knowledge itself only, but because of how creative we combine all of the things together to make people become faster, easier to understand the things.
For me, I think yes, from what Monsati have mentioned is in terms of develop the creativity to solve the problem in the working place. So starting with collecting information. So from him is like going to reading and learn about other things from other people. But for me, it's kind of more on open eyes. So yeah, for me, I like doing like not just focusing on one things, but also having my time doing what we call that, trying to understand other things as well. So for taking one easy example, like going to the restaurant and the purpose is eating food, right? So for me, I'm not going there just for eating food. I look around, look other people around me, what are they doing? Look into the room, So it can be all the information that I can get in just going to the restaurant. So that many things. So and other thing is going to school. We have practicing in some other projects and volunteering. So all of those things are information that we need. And also going to Facebook, we face a lot of things down there in the Facebook. So all of things are also what you can say collect information. So based on the information we have, we are more smarter than the machine. We can be more creative than the machines, like what Monsati have mentioned. So based on the information we have, we can use that in order to make things easier, make things simpler, faster, and for that the creative compete on creativity, mostly on the can happen in the corporate company, like big company, because they kind of looking for smarter people, top grade people, like one people but can do many things at the same time, because multitask. So this can only apply with the big company.
So what about Vida and
For me, I personally agree with all of the ideas has been raised. But the thing that we seem to forget about creativity is it doesn't, for me, creativity is important, let's be clear. But what's more important than creativity itself is your persistence. When you have something in place and you believe that is the best idea you have ever had, but if you don't do it and you do not persist, you are not persistent, you will not achieve it. When you are persistent, the next question is, who's going to join your team to make it happen? You're going to do it alone at all. Just how is your persuasion skills? How can you actually persuade your teams, your members, your family members, your friends, your wife, if you have a wife, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, to come and join your team and actually do it to make it happen? So it just come down to that, the concept as well. And then it's more about belief, confidence. How much confidence do you have in your creative project? So all of these combined together with creativity you have that you bring along together, that will make the project or the thing that you do successful. That's what I believe.
Let me go back to Vidas again, because you mentioned we need to have a persistent or to be persistent, and you mentioned, Suthi mentioned about creativity, and you mentioned about multitasking skill. So we all have hard skill, but now we currently discussing some kind of soft skill that each youth need to have. But how do you use the current stage of youth? I mean, in terms of capacity, do they have the skill or they need to build, and how?
Well, I can see now our young people are becoming more confident that I could see in the past. So they are on the right track. They have Facebook. They could access to different information. So they see things happening. So this can add up to their soft skill constructions. But there are several ways they can develop. Both speakers have raised about data collection through readings, joining workshops, short courses, conferences. All of these I fully agree. It's very vitally important for our young people to actually think about it. We need also to travel to see how others live their life. My habit is to actually visit somewhere that really not prosperous. So to see how the people over there live. So how do they conduct their life? So we feel about it, we see it, and then we start to think about ourselves. Oh my goodness, I'm just more fortunate than those people to come and study, and I can have education. I can have some friends. I have a lot of friends, but those people do not even have a friend. Do not even have an opportunity to study. So when we see that, we reflect to it. More or less, it can help us through building our own soft skill as well.
I agree with you. One point is traveling. I think it's opened up my eye. But the most important thing is how to have much money to travel.
And save the money.
Yeah.
And then you can travel.
Yeah, interesting. Let me ask now, Vatay. You've been in communication some time, right? In terms of communication, and it's a part of soft skill. But I just raised one case. I think I have seen, based on my observation, some students, they're now at university level, but after they graduate, they're not able to even to write an email to someone they want to contact or to communicate with. So how do you think, or do you think there's a change, or a lot of you still have some difficulty in improving their soft skill?
For this case, I think it's happened when they first enter the job.
Okay.
So maybe they haven't started doing it at school.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't have learning of writing email. Maybe we don't have, but for some courses, for some subject, we still have how to write a proper email for business communication. So for that, I think it's something that they can learn. It's not a hard thing as well, because when you like I used to saw that email, not me, but I used to saw that email like there is no subject, no proper greeting at the first thing, and then no proper ending. So by end reading end of the email, and I don't know what they want from that email. What is the purpose of this email? So for that, what we can learn is seeing other people email. So they have been there, maybe they have been there before us, so they can write better email than us, and from day by day we can start learning and get some from that and get some from internet, Google. We just can Google it and how to write an email, blah blah blah, and then there is an instruction where to start, where to end. Yeah, and I think this is not the hard things that we cannot learn.
What about, soft skill in general? So if you're not graduating, you're not a graduate student, but you are now learning, but you want to improve your soft skill while studying, so how do they improve it? In terms of soft skill.
So soft skill, what in particular things that you want
I think
to
like
highlight?
communication, something like that. So I believe that young people need to have that before they enter into job market. So they will be prepared before they enter into market.
Okay, so I might pick one, which is communication. So that soft skill we have learned in school, mostly in group work, teamwork. Mostly in college we have work done through many teamwork. So based on those teamwork, we have practicing communication skill there. So I think that's how we learn. Since year 1 until year 4, we have learned communication skill. But what I want to highlight here, how to make an effective communication, is the objective of communication is to win negotiations. Like what you mentioned is to persuade a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, family to support your idea. It's how communication can make us win negotiations. So first here we need to understand our partner first, someone that we want to communicate with, their education, their family background, their understanding, their attitude, their personality. And then we adopt ourselves, applying that, how they want us to say. Like we have our goal, like our goal is A, and our objective is to get them to say yes to A. So by that, we understand them and we say something that giving them the reason. For example, Bong Satir is someone who is mostly on, he like reasoning, something reason. So if I want to win negotiation with him, I give him reason, why I need A. So I give him a lot of reason that he cannot reject it. So this is how we win negotiation, is to understand our partner first, and then we adopt ourselves in order to win the negotiation. And it's same thing we apply and also in teamwork, also in working place also.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me go back to Mr. Satir, because we have learned that communication, we have learned a part of our soft skill is communication, but you are a trainer. You might have something to share a little bit on soft skill building. So how youth can do in order to improve, in overall soft skill overall.
Okay, for me, I might speak it on behalf of the soft skill that need in the business sector, because normally I'm in that business. I'm in the business sector. A soft skill that we need beside the skill that we learn from school is that we need, like what I mentioned about the communication skills. So communication skill is very important. This one include the team building skills. And another one, you need to have the responsibility. That's kinds of mindsets. As we can see right now, a lot of youths, I mean the Cambodian employees, they don't really responsible for their role. That is not because of the skill they get from the school. It is because of the mindset. They are not take charge enough to complete the task or to fulfill for the organization, to understand what the organization's missions. So responsibility is also another soft skill that we need. Another one is about the motivation. We face a lot of challenge, a lot of new misunderstanding from, especially if you work in the international organizations, you face some challenge with the foreign management styles that a lot of time we feel demotivated. So motivation is another soft skill that you also need. You need to make sure you have this skill. Another one is about management and leadership skills. Because what I mean is that when you enter to the job, you are not going to be the officer all the time. You're gonna be the leader, supervisor, manager, director, something like that. So you need to make sure you have all of those skills, soft skills. Get it ready. And how to get ready, and I like the question that you asked too, but how do you get ready when you are you are not really graduated yet? You are still in the university. I suggest you two things. One is focus on people skill, because in people skill you also can learn about communication, leadership is there, responsibility is there. Go and do some project, or go and volunteer, go and join the activities. Cambodian now have a lot of activity. Don't stay home. My friend or brother and sister, don't stay too much at home. This cannot help you at all. So go and work, go and do something. You know, even right now, I still volunteer. Like in this program, I also come volunteer on my Sunday. Why? We need to enhance it. And another one is go and read or watch things on the internet. It's help you. A lot of successful people, the true successful people, they share a lot. What you need to do is go and listen and then practice what they told you. These two things will make the big impact when you are in schools.
As we are running out of time, I think we have like 1 minute for, I think you already share something to you, you have suggestion, and I think the two speakers will have something to share, like for 30 seconds each.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my comment is just be optimistic about it. I know you have a lot of problems in life. Different person have different issues, so just be optimistic about it. Along the way you will solve it. Work hard on it, then you will be successful. Just don't be hopeless, be hopeful, my friend.
So for me, what I want to say to you is don't be rushed. So you may need times, like what we have mentioned earlier. We need time to see the goal. So don't be rushed. Not starting slow, but looking around, getting more and more information that you can get, and then you can buy that, and you can go and see what is your goal is, and yeah, you can be successful and be hopeful, not hopeless. Yeah.
You just want to say something a little bit?
Okay, a few more seconds. I still encourage our younger people, especially because our country is very poor. I call it very poor compared to what we need to perform right now. You cannot be lazy. Go and do and read and do whatever, and make sure you don't stay home likely on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday and Sunday is the day that you grow yourself faster, double, if compared to Monday and Friday you only go to school. So use that day to improve yourself. That's the message from me, and then you will have the impact.
Thank you so much, all three speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're running out of time, and I would like to conclude the discussion. If you have any question or you want to follow any updates of our program, you can like our Facebook page, The Reflection, and also follow our YouTube channel, ThmeyThmey. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Cam-ASEAN. This is a wonderful school for you to master your business English skills as well as your professional skills. Cam-ASEAN has well-appointed classrooms also a student lounge, and a language lab. The language lab is wonderful for them to improve by themselves their English abilities. We have a wonderful conference hall where we host many activities.
I am Sunny. I studied Business English and Skills at Cam-ASEAN and I'm ready for the ASEAN integration. So why wait? Come and join us now.
ចង់សិក្សាភាសាអង់គ្លេសនិងជំនាញសិក្សានៅ Cam-ASEAN